you! It is your friend Naomi, and thank you for coming back to my kitchen where everybody eats. I hope you're hungry because today I am going to teach you how to make a Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie cologne. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, so for this recipe, it's going to go really fast. So if you are cooking it along with me, go ahead and turn your Go ahead and turn your oven to 325 degrees right now. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and get started. We are going to take 3/4 of a cup, or about 145 grams of shortening. Now you can use Crisco or you could use a palm shortening. Doesn't really matter, but you want it to be full fat, solid shortening. To that, you're going to add 1/3 of a cup, or about 68 grams of brown sugar. And to that, you're going to add 1/2 a cup, or about 170 grams. I'm using my cheat sheet, guys. I'm just a mom like you. Of corn syrup. Now, if you can't use corn syrup or don't want to use corn syrup, I will provide a link to a homemade corn syrup alternative. You could use agave, or you could use cane syrup. Just note that with each little change, the flavor might be a little bit different. You're also going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon, or about 4.5 grams of salt, and about 1 teaspoon, or about 4 grams of baking soda. And you are going to blend all of these up in your mixer until they are creamy and evenly mixed. Now, what I mean by evenly mixed, I don't know if you can see this, you are going to want it to look like a tan buttercream, okay? And to that, we are going to add 1 teaspoon, or about 4.2 grams of vanilla, and we're going to beat it up again. And then we're going to add 4 cups, or about 520 grams of flour. Now, if you are not gluten-free, just go ahead and use regular white all-purpose flour. If you are gluten-free, I recommend you use a good cup-for-cup flour. There are a lot of good brands out there. I'm the Better Batter lady, so I recommend either our Better Batter artisan blend or our original mix, but you do you. We are just going to blend that up until it kind of resembles a little bit of a crumbly pie crust mixture. Now, by pie crust mixture, let me show you what I mean. It's going to look a little bit like cornmeal. Can you see how crumbly that is? Don't get worried. I know it doesn't look like cookie dough right now, but it will soon enough. You're going to scrape the sides of the bowl, and you are going to add your chocolate chips. Again, trust me on this. Now you want to add a minimum of 1/3 of a cup of chocolate chips. It's about 60 grams. And maybe a maximum of 180 grams, or about a cup. You're gonna have to do what makes you happy. I know when I was little, I never thought there were enough chocolate chips in the Chips Ahoy, but if you use too many, you're gonna get a mess. So anywhere from 1/3 to a cup. And the reason we're mixing this in before we add our liquid is because it will help it evenly distribute in the mixture. I tried adding my dairy-free milk to the mixture before the chocolate chips, and I had to knead them in. It's a pretty dry dough. So let's go ahead and mix it up. Doesn't take long. You can see it is evenly mixed into the mixture. And now we are going to add 1/4 cup, or about 86 grams of milk. Now, Chips Ahoy uses real milk. They use several kinds of real milk, but you can use any dairy-free milk you want. I will put my brand preferences in the description below. And go ahead and mix that up. Now what you should get is a dough that appears a little crumbly, but when you press it with your hands, you can see it looks just like cookie dough. Okay, it's a slightly dry cookie dough. You can add an extra tablespoon or so of milk if you find that it's just too crumbly, but honestly, 4 tablespoons should get you to the perfect result. Yes, I am magical, and I magically made all the mess go away and the textures to get cleaned up, and so should you. So, when you are ready to make the cookies, you are going to use a cookie scoop and something to flatten them with. Now, the Chips Ahoy bag says that their cookies are about 16 grams each. That works out to about 1 tablespoon. And the cookies that are made for the grands are about 30 grams each. So that's a big cookie scoop. You do you. They're gonna cook in the same amount of time no matter what, but you're just gonna scoop nice rounded tablespoonfuls onto a cookie sheet. You don't have to be too shy with these. They will not spread once you spread them. But keep in mind, whatever the finished cookie that you want is, you're going to need to basically use enough dough to make it that way when you smash it. Once you've got all of your cookie dough measured onto your sheet, I'm gonna put this aside for now. You don't need to watch me do 3 dozen cookies, okay? You are going to take a smashing cup. I don't know, you can use a juice glass or a votive candle holder, whatever you want. And you are going to smush these cookies so they're about 1/8 of an inch thick. I use a little bit of a butter knife to just help release it because it can form suction on the bottom. Just quick and easy, just like that. Sometimes they don't want to obey you. They're going to look like little discs, okay? Remember, whatever size you make them is the size they are going to turn out as. So if you need to make them bigger, now is the time. We're gonna go ahead and put those in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. You do not want your cookies to brown. They'll be a little brown on the bottom, but they should be pale on the top because that's the Chips Ahoy aesthetic. Okay, so it's been about 12 to 15 minutes. I think it's been about 12. And we are now going to take the cookies out of the oven. Now we don't want them to be brown. We want them to be nice and pale on the top and a little bit golden on the bottom. Whew. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this. They don't stick. They are more like a shortbread than anything. And they are going to need to cool. They will be very tender if you try to handle them right now. They'll crumble. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put them on the rack and we're going to let them cool another 10 minutes or so until they're cool enough to the touch. And then we are going to store them in an airtight container for about a week. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know because we eat everything as soon as we make it around here. With 6 foot forever kids, that's the way it works. But you can keep them for about a week on the counter, a little bit longer if you choose to freeze them. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It really was that easy. If you like this recipe and want to get more, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I do what I do for the love of you, but I get my energy from coffee. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, just click the link in the, click the link in the description below and I'll say thank you a lot. And don't forget, I love you. See you later. Bye.